birds in the mountains do, like a child who cries for you, cries for you. So let me sing for you, about the streets and the avenues. There's nothing I'd rather do, rather do. Check it out now. Gonna make all the men bow, yeah, don't you know it? Shake it up now. We are the lucky ones, we have already won. Gonna paint our nails, then we'll paint this town. We're up for getting down. Oh, can't you hear us shouting? With our high heel shoes and our skinny jeans, we are the dancing queens, riding the limousine. Ain't nothing gonna stop us now. We'll turn this world right upside down. Ain't nothing gonna stop us now. Come on ladies, this is girls' night out. Step aside now. Gonna rise on the prize, oh, we're gonna take it. Get it right now. We're gonna rule the night without a single fight. Ain't nothing gonna stop us now. We'll turn this world right upside down. Ain't nothing gonna stop us now. Come on ladies, this is girls' night out.
各位来宾早安 ，Semi 软性电子系列线上讲座穿戴技术新革命即将在1分钟之后开始。Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The webinar will begin in 1 minute. 那在会议开始之前呢，我们有几件事情要在此提醒大家。所有的与会者目前皆是在静音及关闭视讯镜头的模式。如果您在会议当中有任何系统上的问题，或针对讲师的简报要提问，请点选功能视窗中的聊天功能，将您的问题寄给所有答疑者。主办单位会将您的问题整理后，尽速的协助您。We would like to remind all of our attendees that you are under mute and webcam closed mode. If you have any questions about the system or to the speaker, please click the check icon in the toolbar and entering your questions sent to all panelists. We will proceed it accordingly. 好的，各位来宾早安！再次欢迎各位莅临 Semi 软性电子系列的线上活动穿戴技术新革命。Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Semi FlexTech webinar, graphene-based sensor for healthcare system. 那目前呢，在画面上大家看到的是今天的议程。由于软性混合电子具备可饶易延伸的这个特性，让它成为近年的焦点技术。其中智慧穿戴的装置成为其新兴应用之一。那这次的论坛呢，我们将会探讨如何从材料端出发，研发出更符合成本与耗能效益的穿戴式装置。Here on the screen, you can see the agenda of today. This program will cover some highlights on the recent graphene development of wearable technologies. Before we get started, I would like to invite Dr. C.C. Tsai, the Vice Chair of FlexTech Taiwan Steering Committee and the CTO of E-Ink, to give us her welcome remarks. Welcome, Tsai Bo.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is C.C. Tsai. Because of COVID-19, we're now adopting the webinar format to continue our seminar series. I would like to welcome you all to the very first SemiFlex Taiwan webinar. Yes, it is the very first one. I like to welcome, later we have the honor to have Dr. Linh here today with us. He has a lot of good stuff to share with us. I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Tsai. Next, let's welcome Helen from SEMI for SemiFlexTech update.
Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Helen from SEMI Taiwan, and it's really pleasure to have this opportunity to share SemiFlexTech update with you. Before sharing the update, I would like to have very quick introduction about SEMI. So who is SEMI? SEMI is an international association dedicated in connect the microelectronic industry for 50 years, the half century. And we have 14 branch offices in 7 regions in global. And we serve over 2,260 members in worldwide. And we provide very diverse service to the industry, including the technology community, advocacy, workforce development, market research, standards, and exhibition and conference. In SEMI's platform, we connect over 2 trillion electronic supply chains, from design, manufacturing, component systems, to even emerging applications like smart mobility, smart medtech, smart manufacturing, and smart data. In SEMI's platform, you're not only connect with your partners or customers. SEMI helps our members to explore the new business opportunity together. Now, FlexTech was founded in 1993, and it was American-based association. But in 2016, FlexTech joined SEMI as the first strategic association partner, and we share the resource together. The technology of FlexTech focus, including like flexible display, smart textile, and biomonitor, and so on. Her mentioned that we share the resource with FlexTech together. So FlexTech roll out the global plan and develop the local community very quickly. And we formed the FlexTech Taiwan Steering Committee in 2018. In Taiwan, FlexTech Taiwan Steering Committee, we formed a couple subcommittee ordered SIG under the committee to promote the different topics. For example, like the Industry Development and Promotion Committee focusing on promote the FHE technology in Taiwan, and Healthcare SIG to bridge the FHE technology with healthcare applications. And FHE is very potential to apply in automotive application. So we are going to form the automotive SIG in this Q4 to connect the FHE technology provider with automotive industry. And we also formed the FHE Standard Committee to promote related standards to accelerate the technology development. In FlexTech Taiwan Steering Committee, we have very wide range cover segments, from material, equipment, manufacturing, sensors, printing, and the display, and the smart textile, and academia. And here, currently, the committee leads by the chair from the AS Group, the Mr. Y. the vice president of AS Group, and the vice chair from E3, E-Ink. And here's our committee members for your reference, but we look forward to work together with you to build a more comprehensive FHE ecosystem together. We held committee meetings 3 to 4 times per year. Besides that, we also co-work with the committee to communicate with the government for more support and funding support to develop the technology And we also initiate some cross-region meetings for the regional communication. And we also organize corporate conference like today or the exhibition to provide a platform to mingle with the experts and share the latest updates about the technology development. And Flex Taiwan is the annual event of FlexTech, and also it is an exclusive event for FHE tech industry. Flex Taiwan will be held in September 24th, co-located with Semicon Taiwan. Please mark your calendar. Don't miss it, because in Flex Taiwan, we will have the international forum, exhibition, and VIP reception. You could be connected with the flexible hybrid electronic ecosystem by diverse channels to mingle with the experts, to network with your potential partners. On the other hand, this is a very great platform for you to promote your product or solution or enhance your leadership position in this industry. In last year, we have very good results, and we sincerely appreciate the support from the industry. But we still look forward to work closely with you to have a better and bigger Flex Taiwan this year. And I'd like to share some partial visitors in last year, the Flex Taiwan. You might notice that we have a visitor from big system company like the Apple or the Denso. Denso is the top 10 tier 1 company in automotive industry. So all of they are clear about how flexible hybrid electronic development. So how could you miss it, right? So please join us in the Flex Taiwan 2020. Let's explore the new business opportunities together. The last but not least, because due to the COVID-19 outbreak, SEMI adjust the event type or reschedule the event. Please scan the QR code to visit our website to learn more information about the event and also learn some best practice from the industry, how they respond to COVID-19. And thank you for your time today and hope you enjoy the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. And follow up is our expert sharing on graphene-based sensor for a healthcare system. The speaker of today is Dr. Linh Le, Bonbouton's founder and CEO. He will bring us some insights on the most recent applications of Bonbouton's food health system on using an insult form factor in diabetic food management to serve multiple clients from patients, clinicians, and caregivers. Later in the presentation, if you have any questions about the speech, please send your questions with name and company to all panelists. We will consolidate the questions to the speakers and he will give a feedback at the end of the forum. 那我们再次提醒各位，如果在过程中您对讲师有任何想要提问的问题，请以英文留下您的名字、公司名以及您的问题，并传送给所有答疑者。我们会请讲师在最后为您解答。Now, without further ado, please join me to welcome Dr. Le.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me? Okay, I guess it's yes. Hi everyone. My name is Linh Le. I am the founder and CEO of Bonbouton, and it is my super honor to be the first webinar organized by FlexTech, organized by Flex Semi of Taiwan. I was actually very familiar with the organization FlexTech in the US. That was actually my first time joining the conference at the end of my PhD back in 2014. And then I have been working with FlexTech's conference here in the United States. Every year around February, we always having the FlexTech of the US. And then again, it is my honor to share with you what we are trying to work on for the project that I am working on. So just want to create some context. Today, here in the United States of America, there are 100 million people who are living with diabetes. And then all around the world, we actually have almost half a billion people are suffering from diabetes and prediabetes. And then actually about 30% of all of those people will actually develop some condition called the foot ulcer. So the foot ulcer is a small wound at the bottom of the foot, but then if you don't take it seriously, the patient can only take 4 days for the wound can be developed into something that can really get you hospitalized. And actually, worse than that, right now, 200 people are losing limbs in America every single day. Every 20 seconds, there is someone like around the world losing a part of the limb, actually. So what we are trying to work on is very simple. We are developing the connected insole system that continuously tracking the foot health condition for the patient. So it's here, you can see that we have the connected insole with several layers, and then the insole talking to the phone, and then from there, you will be able to see what is happening. So on the outside, very simple. We continuously track the temperature. We continuously tracking the temperature because those two raw data can be correlated with the probability of the foot ulcer development, especially for diabetic patients. So if you look at this image, we actually having the app that not only helping the diabetic patient, but also helping the caregiver to lend a hand at that moment. When we are detecting anything as a red flag, for example, anything that is urgency, we will be sending the notification directly to the doctor. In the US, we call podiatrist, like the doctor who taking care of the foot. And also at the same time, if you're living alone, we will be sending the notification via text message, via phone call to the caregiver, so the caregiver can help the patient if something that emergency. So if you look at this image, the right foot is just about 2 degrees C warmer compared to the other one. However, that foot, the right foot, has 80% more likely to ulcerate over the next 2 to 3 weeks. This study has been clinically proven in the US, and then that's exactly why we need to really taking advantage of the time urgency for this particular diabetic foot amputation system. So we have built the whole platform. We have the smart insole that we are charging $100 for the patient upon signing up. We are also having the mobile app, providing to the patient, providing to the caregiver, and then we are charging them $30 per month in order for them to use the smart insole system. And also, we're having what we call the clinical healthcare dashboard, and then we're actually charging the doctor as they would be able to monitor, they would be able to diagnose, and they would be able to take advantage of the helping the patient. We're charging them $40 per patient per month, which will be reimbursed by the insurance industry. So is the market really big? As I said before, 200 people are losing limb every day. If we are digging a little bit deeper into how big the market is, you can see here that within the US, $27 billion is spending on battling diabetic amputation. For the foot amputation, 12,000 number of cases are happening like right now. Toe amputation, almost 60,000. And then for the wound care, which is a little bit different which is a little bit different but related, we have about 160,000 cases. So the market alone is huge. If we were able to detect 1% of the foot amputation, we actually saved $270 million already. That was the main presentation. That was the main sale pitch that I was able to give to the insurance carrier in the U.S. And obviously, we have done a lot of pilot testing. We have done a lot of talking with different stakeholders. We have done multiple patient tests, and then up to 90% of the patient actually reported we were able to detect up to 90% of the serious risk for the developing ulcer. At the same time, when we're talking with podiatrists, when we're talking with insurance, we would actually receive a lot of positive feedback from them. So in the U.S., the go-to-market strategy would really going through the doctors, and then at the end of the day, the patient or the end user would be the one who receive the products. We're going to distribute both the hardware and the software, and then Medicaid, or private insurance will be reimbursed Bonbouton for the hardware, and then at the same time, the software would be able to reimburse directly from the insurance to the doctor who taking care of the patient. We are trying to really helping not only the patient, but then also the doctor and the insurance company as well. So, but then that was really one of the products we are trying to do. Our vision for the Bonbouton vision is really to sensing the invisible. As you know that Flex Semi was really interested in e-textile. Actually, is going really well with one of the projects that we are doing right now. We are using the graphene technology. We are shooting for everyday use, particularly anything that is relating to clothes, relating to shoe, and then we are very interested in preventative healthcare. Right now, we have two product offering, diabetic foot health platform, which I presented earlier, and then another more like consulting project that we are offering is more on the R&D, research and development of the textile-based sensing application. So the core technology is actually part of my PhD work. We were working with the graphene. We changed the monolayer of the graphene from crystallized graphene into more like a reduced graphene oxide, and then we would be able to disperse the solution, the graphene into the water-based solution. And after that, we were using the inkjet printing or any printing method, and then you can see on the lower right-hand corner, we have the graphene infused fiber filament. So going to the next slide, you can see that this is the SEM, or like scanning electrode microscopy, or for the graphene oxide coated fabric. So if you look at the lower left-hand corner, you see that it's very small. And then each and every of the fiber is constantly coating with the graphene. We also invented the new way to convert this graphene oxide material as a sensing application. And then actually, that's why we would be able to convert the insole as a pressure and temperature sensing insole. So on the technology side, it was simple. It was literally a versatile and scalable printing technology. While I was in the lab, I was using the inkjet printing, but then now we are using a variety of different technology in order for us to be able to deposit the graphene onto different surfaces, and also at the same time, later on, converted that sensing element, converted that deposition into different sensing element. We have been publishing a lot of different paper, like in 2011 when I published my first IEEE Nano, and then most recently we publish in sensors and actuator, and then we have 2 more papers on the printing graphene for different application coming up. So I want to share with you a little bit more on the washability, on the bendability, as well as washing cycle for the fabric base. This is most recent development. As you remember that we have the fiber-based temperature, fiber-based graphene coated, and then we would be able to changing that and then tuning the property for the temperature sensitivity. So essentially, really depending on the substrate, really depending on the fiber type, we would be able to tuning the temperature sensitivity. And then, for example, in some cases for healthcare, we would be able to tune the temperature sensitivity for anywhere between 25 degrees C to 40 degrees C. For different application, for like higher application, for higher temperature application, for example, we would be able to change the chemistry of the graphene, and we also be able to tuning the temperature sensitivity as well. We also do the bending cycle. We have been testing the bending cycle for the textile up to 10,000 TAM, and then you can see that on the far right we have somewhat relatively stable condition for different textile material. And at the same time, obviously, when we're talking about e-textile, we would need to know how many times we can wash. So at this early stage, without any protective layer, we have been able to show that up to 5 cycles, the performance of the sensor on the fiber is actually pretty much like similar. We further hypothesize that if we were able to coat the graphene fiber with some kind of polymer, we would be able to increasing the washing cycle up to 50 times. And then if we were able to go to 50 times, that is the golden standard for the e-textile industry at this moment. So as I shared with you before, one of the R&D projects that I am very interested in working on right now is actually using the graphene as a EMG, short for electromyogram sensor. So essentially, we found out that the graphene sensor can pick up the muscle activity up to 20 times higher compared to the commercial electrodes. So usually in this muscle activity, people are using silver chloride as the electrodes, and also at the same time, it is not reusable. So what we found out, as you can see here, that if we are having the graphene sensor integrated into the arm sleeve like this, we can actually opening a lot of different applications for the EMG signal. One thing would be the gym application. If you go to the gym, you want to see how well you are working out, and then right now there is no way for you to see the feedback like right away, except for you are looking at yourself in the mirror. With this particular technology, with this particular feedback loop, you would be able to see which muscle groups that you are trying to work on, and which muscle group you will be able to focus on for the next session, for example. And other than the consumer on the gym market, definitely this application, another application can be very interesting relating to the to baby and mothers. One of the tests that usually being done in this particular market would actually for what we call the non-stress test. So when a expecting mother before going into the labor, they would have some contraction. And then right now, the expecting mother needs to lie on the bed, and then it is not like fun for the mother to see that. We really expect that if we were able to develop a prototype on this one, we would be able to go to market really, really soon. So again, going back to sensing the invisible as our vision, we also see that not only sensing the invisible, but then sensing to do what? Really, we want to push the future of remote diagnosis. If we were able to accurately and securely collecting the data from all over the body, from at the bottom of the foot using our insole to normal clothing that would be for vital sign, from blood pressure to core body temperature to heart rate, that would actually help with remote monitoring. And then if we would be able to do that, we can control over our health. And then with COVID, obviously, remote diagnosis is something we always shoot for. And then here we are in the first conversation, in the first webinar, because we are not able to get together. Our vision really during COVID is to enable every human to live a healthier life. We also have a side project, as you can see here. We are working on a graphene mask. We were able to engineer the filter layer in the lab that can potentially be similar to the N95, which is blocking 95% of the time the microparticle. And also, obviously, when we integrate that into the mask, not only we will be able to help with the consumer as a washability, we also would be able to help the healthcare provider if they were able to using this one, which is reusable compared to the non-reusable or disposable surgical mask at the same time. And then as the founder of the company, I am also volunteering my time for the emergency ventilator. I'm also working with another engineer within my company in order to really opening the an open source for the design of the emergency ventilator. And then at the same time, we are trying to help other healthcare provider, especially in New York and then in California. So we have been able to bring some PPE or protective or personal protective equipment from Asia to here in the US in order to help out. So we currently have a lot of partners. We have a lot of partnership from technology to manufacturing and to clinical. So we have been raising more than $1 million from National Science Foundation of the US. We are big partner with W.L. Gore and Associate, which are obviously helping us with the material science. We work closely with T1D Exchange, which is one of the biggest diabetic community in the US. And also at the same time, we are doing several current pilot with NYU for the clinical trial as well as MedLife in order to figure out what will be the business case for us, and then how do we able to help insurance companies saving money, as we said before. So I cannot go without saying that I'm super proud of the team. As you can see here, we have 7 people. Currently, we are not able to get together because of COVID. We are trying to really, with a team of 7 people, we are really trying to see if we can be the one who dominating the remote diagnosis, starting with using the graphene-based insole, using the graphene mask, and really really can change the life for people. And I think that this is my last slide, and then my contact information is here. I would love to address any question if you have right now, and also at the same time, feel free to send me an email with anything. If you are interested in helping me with a project, if you are interested in exploring investing in the company, if you are interested in having a project, I would love to answer any question. And then at the same time, again, sign up for the FlexTech in September 24th. I will be there, and then you would have a chance to play with the insole system as well as the mask. We will be wearing masks, even though that is 5 months from now, but then I want to make sure of that. Thank you so much. I think that we have several questions, right?
Thank you, Dr. Lei. Actually, it is a very informative sharing. But currently, we haven't received any text questions on the system. So I think we will open to ask. Oh, I think we have one question here. Yep. Okay.
Yep. I saw it.
Okay, thanks. Could you help us to reply that? Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So the question from Kang Yu Kai. His question is on the relationship between pressure sensor and clinical issue. He noticed that there are 5 or 6 pressure sensors on the insole system. Are there enough to obtain the information on foot for clinical? So no, there is not only 5 or 6 pressure sensor in the presentation or in the in the image. It was just a representation. Actually, we have so much more sensor compared to that. If you're looking back into one of the image that I have earlier, okay, here you can see that we actually having much more coverage, and then we are not only using just the pressure sensor, we are using the combination of pressure and temperature. If you look at the foot here, for example, you can see that we have more sensor, and then those are the area that are frequently developing the ulcer. We also have some sensor near the arch area for patient.
Hey, thank you for your reply, Dr. Lei. I'm just wondering that if any of our attendees have questions right now. If you do, please leave a message to us and we will unmute you so that you can deliver your questions by your voice. Okay, so it looks like we don't have any question as of now. So how about this? If any of our attendees, if you have any questions, oh, we got one more question. Dr. Lei, can you see that? From Ellen from Caltech.
Sure. Hi, Alan. So yes, we are on this slide, so I can answer this one. So the question is, if the smart insole needs to be rewashable, how do you handle the charging issue? So actually, no, the insole need not to be rewashed. We are designing the insole to be reusable, and then we design the insole to be disposable in a way that every 3 months we go into Bonbouton, will send the patient the new pair of insole, and then in the package we going to have the return label, so the patient can return back to us the old pair of the insole. It does not need to be recharged because we have found out that for diabetic patient, having another device, having another charging device would not be easy for them. And also the reason we don't want to, not only just on the usability, actually it is not required or is not recommended by the insurance company or clinical for the patient to handle the charging of the insole. That's why we decided to be non-rechargeable by the user. It can only be refurbished or repurposed within our company.
Okay, I think we have one more question from Caltech Steve.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think probably this will be our last questions. And to all of our attendees, if you have any questions later on, just don't worry. You can email to Linh or leave a message to Sammy, and we will help you to consolidate the questions to the speakers and reply you by email later on. So I think we'll open for the last question here.
Okay. Hi, Steve. This question is really interesting because it goes directly into my PhD thesis. So his question is on the quality of graphene would affect the performance of the device. Yes, largely, very, very largely. So when we work with the graphene nanoplatelets, we actually need to choose the supplier very well, and then we have a very small range of the size, lateral size for the graphene nanoplatelets before we going into our process in order to control the density. Would love to talk more about this one, and then I know a lot about ID over IG ratio, so we can set aside some time to talk about this.
Okay, thank you all for your questions, and thank you, Dr. Lei, for your answers. I think we should call it a day. So that concludes the SemiFlex Tech webinar, and thank you all for joining us this morning. 我们先感谢各位参与今天 Semi 软性电子系列的这个线上讲座。那今天的活动呢，在这边告一段落。那荧幕上有这个问卷的 QR code， 那我们欢迎各位跟我们分享您的宝贵意见。那在填写完问卷之后呢，可以获得讲师授权的简报档案。那我们再次感谢各位参与本次的线上论坛。Once again, thank you for joining us today, and hope to see you next time. Thank you, Dr. Lei.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.